Okay, so here we're going to do a little demonstration of how to draw the anatomical heart. That would mean like the human heart or more realistic heart for your at-home drawing activity. And this is an awesome activity because not only are you going to get a little drawing exercise, you're going to practice sketching, you're going to practice drawing things that are in front and behind. You're also going to get an opportunity to illustrate four things within this heart or around the heart or a mixture of both that mean the most to you. All right, and so you got to whittle that down to four things. And we all could think of four different things, I'm sure. And I'm willing to guess we've got a few things that we certainly have in common that are super important to us, that are also important to your peers. So let's get started here. If you notice, I've got a sketchbook, pencil, good eraser on the back. I am going to be drawing an illustration that's about the size of my hand. I want you to think in the same way too. So drawing big, we need to leave room for some of these extra things we're adding into this image, those four things that are really important to you. So draw nice and big, so fill your space. I would draw even bigger, but it would exceed the space of the camera. So I'm just going to keep it about the size of my hand. Feel free to go bigger if you want to. Alrighty, so when we sketch, I want you to practice holding your pencil more in the middle rather than up close in the front. This is how we hold our pencil when we're writing a letter, writing a paper, right? When we're sketching, we're going to hold our pencil further back. What that is going to allow us to do is make bigger, more open movements with your hand. And you're going to also allow yourself to draw a bit lighter than you normally would when you hold it up close to the front here. So we're going to sketch loose and light to begin with. We're going to draw the big things first, and then we will save the details for later. Okay, so an anatomical heart. Now this isn't exact, right? I actually have not seen a real anatomical heart or a model of a heart in a while, but I have looked up some pictures. What we're going to do is we're going to draw kind of like a really open U or really open V, although we don't want to come to a point at the bottom. It's going to be nice and rounded. After you draw this really nice and open U, V-ish shape, you're going to add a little bump on the side, a little bump towards the top, and a little bump on the right side. So it kind of looks like a goofy ice cream cone with like three little scoops. They're not huge mounds, they're little. They're gentle hills. Okay? So this is the basic shape of the heart. Now I'm going to be adding things. I'll be erasing because these are kind of more like guidelines. All right, so I'm going to start on this side over here. So the heart has different tubes, ventricles, where the blood goes in and out. The heart's job is pumping blood in, pumping blood out, right? Keeps us alive. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make this little bump into a tube. Do you see how I did that? I added two straight sides and this shape on top called an ellipses. An ellipses is like a squashed oval, okay? So I need to do a little erasing, right? That went on top of my bump on the left side. Now, as I move forward here, I'm going to draw three more tubes. So I'm going to start with what looks like those, like the top of a castle. You know how it kind of goes. Oh dear, I'm not even on the screen. Okay, how it goes up, over, down, up, over, down, up, and it's okay if it's a V in between these shapes. I like that. Over, down. Now, like I said, these are going to be tubes as well. So I've got my sides, right? They're pretty straight, which is good. That works. I'm going to add an ellipses on the top. Right? That squashed oval. This one's a little messy. Come on, let's fix that up a little bit. Now I can clean things up. I drew light the first time, so it's really easy to erase those guidelines. That's the benefit of drawing light. All right, we've got my ventricles up at the top. Now, what if I want to draw something that goes behind? right? Let's say I want to draw a ventricle that goes behind this one. So let's say this is the beginning of it, and it comes out behind. So bump, jump. Let's make a little tube that comes out behind. I want to see you add some things that are behind. Doesn't have to be right here, but have some fun with that. And we're going to say that this is a tube. And maybe it's going to be like a bridge for another tube. We're getting crazy right here, aren't we? Okay, so I want to make this look a bit neater. Okay, so now this is a tube, right? It's getting crazy here, getting complicated. This probably isn't like scientifically accurate, but it's fun. Okay, so now we've got a tube over another tube, and maybe this one kind of comes down. Right. So now I'm just playing with some lines and shapes. You can have some fun with this too. I'm not going to get too much more tubey with this. For details, like I said, erase any loose scratchy lines that don't look quite right to your eye. Right? Clean them up. Fix up some of those edges. Neatness does matter. Right? So spend some time with this. Make it neat and nice. Okay. Let's see if I can bring this up just a little bit more. Alrighty, there you go. Now you can see my whole heart. Okay, so I've got this anatomical heart, and I've got some good space to work with. Now I need to add 4 things that are really important to me. One thing that came to mind right away is obviously my wife. She's really important to me, and we just got married this summer, so that was really special. So I can add something that would signify that. So maybe I want to add a wedding ring. The wedding ring doesn't have to be small, right? It doesn't have to like fit around this little thing, but I want to incorporate it somehow. I mean, it could, but let's have fun. I'm actually going to try to make this kind of big. So maybe I'll have the ring wrap around the heart. Wouldn't that be cool? So that is playing with size, right? Because if there was a diamond like this size, I'd be a zillionaire. Right, compared to the size of my heart, whew, that would be a big stone. So I'm going to draw a little diamond really quick here. Let's see how fast I can draw a diamond. I haven't drawn a diamond in a long time. Okay, so let's just say that's my beginning of a diamond. So that's one thing. And now this symbolizes a bigger idea, right? It symbolizes my marriage, but you are going to have to come up with some symbols yourself. What symbols can you add? 4 symbols that would represent 4 things that are super important to you, and incorporate them into this drawing, right? Don't just draw something floating off on the side here. Try to incorporate it onto, into, around your heart illustration, because it should be tied together, okay? So there I've got one idea for you. I'm going to give you till that selected time that I mentioned in our live video to complete your sketch in your work, and then we will do a little sharing. If you do need more time, that's okay too, but I want you to get a really good start on this, and if you finish, even better. All right, so have some fun.